What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the show. Today I'm sitting with Jason Atakhanov. He is the CEO, founder of Set Sail. He's also got a couple other businesses that he's involved in. One, Legent, and the other, he's the CMO at Dosed Bikes. Jason, how you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for having me. I'm so stoked to be here.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to have you on the show. Walk me through, man. You got a lot of stuff going on. Lead me through like your journey to date. How did you get involved in all these businesses? Yeah, kind of set the foundation for us before we hop into the show.
Right, yeah. For about 5 years, I used to work at TELUS, and I started just simply answering the phone calls in the call center. Moved up the corporate ladder, and ended up being a marketing specialist for that team. And it was cool. It was interesting, but I knew that a lot of the things that I wanted to do just weren't being taken into consideration, and had way too many. Like levels of approval to be really engaged in what's happening in the market today. So I knew there was an opportunity for doing something. And I've always been into photography and videography, and people would ask me like, "Hey, man, could you help me out? Could you take photos of this whatever product?" And it would take those clients one at a time until it built out to a proper business. So I quit my job, did that full time, and it took us about 7 years to make it absolutely proper the way it is right now. We have 12 team members, and we do. Design, development, and production currently. So create branding for people, create marketing assets, web platforms all on their own, and create putting together proper funnels for people.
I love it. What
Yeah.
was that moment? There's a lot of people listening who are, thinking about starting a side hustle. They're creatives and they want to do that. Was there like a number you wanted to hit where you're like, okay, now I'll quit, my corporate job? Or was it just you were fed up? Like, what was that thing that said, okay, today I'm putting in the 2 weeks, like it's time to go all in? Was there like a moment that aha moment or what happened there?
Yeah, this one's funny. I've never told this to anybody. So I've written out my letter of resignation, and I kept it in my desk. I swear for like a month. I was so afraid of actually doing it. But what kept me going was I went on this. I took a small sabbatical for 3 months. I went traveling across Europe, came back. I knew this wasn't enough. I took another month off and went to South America and saw things. And I came back. I wrote out the letter, and I knew that what I wanted to do is travel. So for me, it wasn't about the number of that I wanted in terms of the monetary amount, although. Absolutely love money. Go for money. Money is the best. But it was about like being in places where I felt happy. So, and that was discovering new places for me. So, yeah, about a month later, I knew my performance was going down, and my manager was like, "Hey, man, is everything going okay? Like, what's going on?" And I just pulled it out. I'm like, dude, I just don't belong here anymore, and I gotta do something on my own. And they're like, dude, I've been waiting for you to say this for a while. So yeah, it was a great exit, and started going on my own, and it sucked for a while until it got better.
I love that it was largely a lifestyle decision, right? It's having that
Yeah.
aha, that thing that knocked you over the head that said, this isn't for me. And not to knock on 9 to 5s. I think like, look, the one
Yeah.
of the misconceptions people have is they think, oh, yeah, entrepreneurship and people, it's easy to like hate on 9 to 5s. And I think anybody who does that is a jackass personally. But
Mm.
because when you start a business, you know, it's way more hours. So it's like it's way more. So
Yeah.
yeah, so this like allure, and I think people on the internet sell this whole like sipping cocktails in Jamaica while you
Oh
make
yeah.
passive income, and that's just not reality. Um, so you're there, and I want to kind of move it forward a bit. You're there, you leave, you're on your own. Okay, was it? Did you have a co-founder? Were you by yourself? What was the initial business formation like?
Right. Prior to doing this, I was trying a few businesses before that didn't work out because just the I didn't vet the relationships before jumping into something. I was young and stupid and just like, let's all can do this together. And those never panned out. So this time I knew that if I wanted to make it work, let me make sure that I can do this on my own. If there is a skill set missing, I'll hire for that skill set. Like for example, I'm not the best at when it comes to doing taxes. Hate them. So hire somebody to do that properly. Luckily, one of my best friends is great at taxes, so we started working together on that. And I wanted to touch upon the sipping cocktails on the beach while working. Have you ever tried working on the beach with a laptop? Okay, it's the
It's
fucking worst. You
it's the worst.
It is. You can't see the screen because it's too bright. Everybody's having fun around you while you're just one idiot sitting on the laptop. It sucks. Don't do it.
Yeah, spotty Wi-Fi. It's not. It doesn't work.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
I love that you bring up this idea, and I've thought about this a lot. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs go through it. I did early on, and it's playing business, not doing business. So playing
Yeah.
business is like, let's all start a company together because that'll be fun, and like, and then you start to realize like, what are we doing here, right? So I love that of like, take the onus yourself, take the risk, and hire for what you can't do. So
Mhm,
because that I think is a major turning point. And a lot of people listening, if they've started their own business, are probably like, "Yep, I went through that." Um,
mhm.
so you go through, you try a couple businesses, you then get on to set sail, you build that to 12 people. But today you're working on a program for the real estate industry. Give me the 30-second pitch on that, and then walk me through um, what your desired outcome is for that. Because I want to get into desired outcomes a little bit as well.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay. So at Set Sail, we've worked with a ton of different realtors who all wanted the same thing. I need a website. I got to look good and feed me all the data from the boards to showcase our stuff. I'm like, okay, all you guys want the same thing. I can build a platform that will do that automatically. And like, okay, if they all want to do this, they want to close the sales. So of course, the experience of the buyers and sellers need to be a part of that same solution, and that's where Legion came in. It creates the automatic websites for realtors, but it also has this component for buyers and sellers who are working on the same system together, where they can compare homes, upload the documents for their notary public, put together their mortgage calculators, however they wish to do that. Um, and for a realtor side, they can automatically make brochures. They can have a smart business card that makes them look even cooler. So that's the platform. It's designed to make real estate accessible for everybody and communicated very well in one place.
Amazing. And is it it's primarily targeted at realtors in Canada just right now, or is it Canada, US? What's the market?
Right. So we've been building the SaaS platform over the past 2.5 years, and we've dumped about like $600,000 into it so far. So it costs us quite a bit of money to put it together, and the limitation is based on the licenses to the boards that we currently have, which is currently British Columbia. So it's in here Vancouver, the island, and the Fraser Valley. And we are quickly expanding to new places. So coming to North Carolina, coming to LA, a few of the locations there, and Chicago. That's where we're testing further American markets.
I love it. So you're building this. How do you have time for all this? How do you split up your time? Walk me through what that looks like. Like, what's a day in the life of Jason like? Is it just wild from 4 a.m. until midnight, or do you take breaks? Like, how does that work?
Right. So about 6 months ago, I hired a CEO for Set Sail. And that's been the most incredible thing. That allowed me to step aside from day-to-day operations and client management to communicating my vision to my team members, so everybody can execute on the vision properly. So they know exactly what to do. The tasks are properly aligned. Everybody knows what to do. Yeah.
I love that. So now you've just moved into the vision and out of the execution side of things.
Yeah.
But very very massive. Is your whole team in Vancouver? Or are you a remote team? How does managing that go?
Yeah, the core team is in Vancouver. That's where we're able to have our proper brainstorms in here. So we have 7 team members in here, and other team members who are just as close to us, but they are located in Germany, in Ukraine, in Argentina. Yeah, those are mostly developers actually from around the world.
Amazing. I love it. So, we talked a little bit beforehand, right, about how one of the things you're passionate about is kind of plotting the goal before you get started. So, yeah, like walk me through, I guess, how that became such a tenant or important part for you. Is there an example or something you worked with where that didn't happen? Was there a failure, or has it always been like, hey, you've had it instilled in you, you need to know the direction you're going? How is that? Yeah, walk me through the framework and how you think about that.
Yeah, this started really, really early on in my life, where I was the one learning how to use Photoshop when Photoshop was like CS4 or CS3, and you downloaded out of the torrent sites, and Adobe CC was not a thing back then. So at that time, I was in high school, where my principal asked me like, "Hey man, what you were creating all these like graphics, that's cool. Why don't you create like our agenda for school?" And at that point I was like, okay, so what are you looking for? And they would give me like some briefs of what I'm trying to do, and I'll quickly mock it up and show it to them. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, okay, so I have this vision of what you were trying to do in mind for me. So and from then on, I knew that everybody has a vision in their heads. Everybody, I think everybody's a visual person. So all I'm trying to do is just listen to them and try to visualize and like, is this what you're talking about, or what are some tweaks? So that is basically the philosophy of like thinking with an end in mind. So before jumping into it, okay, let's talk about it. Let's make it all colorful in our heads, so I can draw it out, and we're gonna build it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Jason, for anybody who wants to learn more about what y'all have going on, one, where can they connect with you online? And then two, what website should they go to? What's the best place to check things out?
That's a great question. Setsail.ca or legion.com. Uh, we're posting all the new updates and changes that we have on the blog, as like what's new with Legion, and we constantly posting our new features on there. If somebody wants to connect with me, I'm on Instagram at JasonAT. Yeah, send me a message. I don't post, but I love seeing what people do. So hit me up. I'm there. It doesn't look like it, but I'm there.
I love it. So I'll put links to those in the show notes page. Jason, thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Cheers.
All right, everybody. That's it for another episode of Mind Your Marketing. As always, I'm your host, Jordan Shelton, and I will catch you next time.